Welcome everyone to Evony Throne Time with Veri. I appreciate you all joining me today for this video. I'm going to jump right into it. Today's discussion is going to be over, especially for a lot of you newbies that don't know the later servers, 400s, 500s in the server numbers. You may not know how to do some of these specific things during SVS, especially during research time. I don't mean researching your own keep, I mean researching your enemy. It's important, as any warmonger will tell you, that the more research you have, the better it is for you and for your alliance to share that information. How do we find that information? I'm going to go to Event Center. And we're not going to go under server monarch competition. This is just the daily events that you're competing with the other server against. I'm a little surprised here that they're ahead. Traditionally, 360 has always won, oh gosh, I would say 98% of these daily events. I imagine this number will really peak up there later tonight before reset. We've always done very well with the troop training, which is stage 3 of 6 on in this week. But anyways, let's go down. We're going to scroll down to server war, okay? And when reset happens during the week of KE, so you start the new week and now SVS week begins, you're not going to see you're not going to see some of these things. You're not going to be able to do some of these things. You're going to see the prior weeks or the prior competition, SVS competition numbers, rankings, who did what, blah, blah, blah. But you can look up specific things on the enemy server you will be fighting that the coming week once reset happens. And I'm going to show you how to do that. It's always good to do lots of research on the enemy if you have the time. Otherwise, you can rely on others who may have more experience that religiously does this from week to week. So as you see here, there's nothing down here. Obviously, we need to begin the war starting Friday, my time, and that's when the numbers will accumulate. At reset after KE, you will see the prior SVS numbers here, and don't let that confuse you. A lot of people think, okay, well, I'm going to go to the ranking of the enemy server of the upcoming SVS, but it's going to show the last SVS guys. Now that won't change until Wednesday morning or Wednesday, whatever time your reset is. Today is Wednesday for me. It has cleared everything out, and now I can really dig into the details of the enemy. So the first thing I do is I go to ranking of enemy server. I look for monarch power ranking because I want to see who it is that has the most power, the alliances. Now this is a little uncanny because we have one alliance that has, or excuse me, this is the monarch, these are the players. We have one guy, he's at 4 billion. The next closest people are at 1.5, 1.2, and then it just kind of slowly goes down from there. This is an anomaly. This guy, I've been playing it long enough now to where this guy, I know he's put a lot of money, and I've already looked at his keep to identify maybe some of his weaknesses, but he's put a lot of money into the game, and kudos to him. If you have the money, go for it. If you don't, you're going to be more or less like the rest of us. But I go to that monarch power ranking. I want to see who the guy is, and we can click on him, we can go to detail, and we can locate his coordinates and basically go into his stats and kind of see what's going on as much as we possibly can. But I do go in and I view his alliance. I want to see his members. I want to see what's going on, who has the power. Now he's an R4. He does have a level 33 R5 who basically runs it, but I imagine he or she has some say-so. But you have some players here, 300, 400. He has a little bit of power. You even have, look at this, 629 million down here. That's why their alliance has so much power. I imagine they kind of run the alliance, or excuse me, run the server. Hopefully they're not dictatorship running it, but nonetheless, they've got a lot of power. And then I'll go into some other ones here to see what kind of information I can dig up on them. So 890, he's not so bad. He is a level 35. For being on, I think they're in the 400s, their server, that's not too shabby. You have a 1.5 billion guy here. I'm going to peek at him real quick and look at his stats. So yeah, not too bad. But this is what I do. This is what I do when I'm living my dream on Evony. I crave SVS and I want to do all the research I can. The other thing you can do is once Wednesday, whatever time that day, whatever time frame your reset is, you can go in and click on this and block them. Okay, very, very important you do this. You can't do this before Wednesday at reset. You can only do it at Wednesday on until it gets to your SVS war. Starting reset after KE, it just kind of gives you basic information. These things down, these two will be grayed out, so you can't talk to them, you can't view their alliance. But after Wednesday, you can click in here and block them. Why would I block them? I know a lot of you know this answer, but why would I block them? I love talking to people. I'm a natural born talker, and I may not be the most grammatically correct guy, but I love to talk. I love to help people, give them information, help them, build their keeps, things like that. So why would I block these guys? Well, one, I don't know them. Two, I don't want them to get away from me. And what I mean by that is when you go into your friends list, okay, come down here, go into friends, and you hit your blacklist. All right, here's the guy I just blocked. Now I can quickly pull him up from the blocked list and locate his coordinates. Okay, it's a quick way to arrest warrant somebody, especially enemy server. I can block him and find him quickly to see where he's at. And I'll go through, before SVS starts, I'll go through this entire list of the most powerful players I think I need to keep an eye on and block them, just for the fact I want to have the advantage. Now, they'll block me as well. Some of them will, most won't. Most will try to do an arrest warrant, go into friends, type your name and search you, but it's so difficult these days, especially with the little name change trick that people have been doing. There's some kind of code behind it to where it makes it appear you're a higher or lower keep than you actually are. We can get into that on another video, but yeah, going in here and blocking some of these people that you want to keep track of, so you can quickly arrest warrant them is ideal, especially when they're getting ready to rally or you go to their alliance, you can't find them there. You're wondering, well, where the heck are they? I don't remember the guy's name, and I'm from English speaking country. I cannot type. These appear to be Japanese. Let's see here. Detail. It's English, so he's put in some Japanese characters or Chinese. I'm not sure. I apologize to the Asian community if that I don't know what these characters are. But nonetheless, you're going to go through and do your research on these guys and see who the most powerful players are in their server. The next thing I do is I go to Alliance Power Ranking. And from here, I can see, yeah, well, this is a huge jump. For this server, 438, that is a huge jump in power from second to first. These are pretty naturally, this one's a little bit higher so the top two are much higher than what a standard server would be at this point in time, and then they're a bit higher as well. But you see AAD has all the power, and again we go in here and view all their members, etc., etc. The other thing you do is you can pull these up, and I'll just go ahead and do this. View members. We're going to just click on one of the people and locate coordinates. Let's find them. Let's find them on the map. Okay, so here it is. Here's this person I just warranted, but here is their alliance. Now I can add as a bookmark, and I'm going to put them as an enemy. and I hit confirm. And when I go to the world map, I now have them marked. It looks like I have 2 marked there, but nonetheless, I have them marked. So when we're in the heat of the battle, I can just quickly go to the enemy server, start clicking each of the alliances to find who may be open, who may be not, where I want to trap, where I want to do whatever it is I want to do. As you can see, I don't think I have all of them, but I have a few, of the larger ones already outlined and bookmarked here. So very important. Again, Event Center, scroll down to Server War and click in there. Ranking of enemy server, and you can find that information here. Killing ranking, that's important too. We kind of know the 4 billion guy is going to be, maybe not, but we know he's going to be towards the top. I mean, you don't spend that kind of money to not play the game PvPing. We do have one person on our server who does just that. I mean, he has spent a boatload of money. He's 4 billion power, and he is a boss killer. He doesn't really participate in SVS. I'm not really sure what the point of that is, but it sort of ruins our chances when we get teamed up with another enemy server, because he doesn't fight, and we're stuck with larger opponents than we should be. But that's a story for another day. But yeah, so we go in here and see what their killing ranking is. Not too huge. I mean, compared to our server, obviously they're a newer server, but not too bad. But we kind of know who the top guns are here, and we can manipulate our bookmarks from here as well. So the last one I'll go through, and let me just scroll here. Killing ranking, yeah. So the last one I go to, and this is extremely important for how you set your marches up, if you're trapping, who you're trying to attack, who to look out for, what kind of marches they have. Go into general ranking. This is going to be key to your strategy. As you see here, this guy has the top 4, and then he has 2 more here. So he has 6 generals above 5 million. Let's see, does he have any more? No. So he has 6 generals. He has spent a ton of money. Congratulations, whoever you are. A ton of money on generals, which is important. Very, very important. If you have the time, if you have the money, if you have the resources, do what you can to get the generals you like and maximize them. So we're going to go into his Simeon here. He's not too, let's see, he's got everything maxed out there. He's not too, he's not too bad. It looks like based off what he's chosen here, he's chosen the right gear. I did notice, and I won't go into it because if they're watching, I don't want them to know what I know to change things within their other generals. But I did notice 2 other generals the gear wasn't maximized correctly, in my opinion. But nonetheless, I mean, you can see here, I mean, he's got, look at these percentages, massive. And this is where you gain the most knowledge, is by researching some of these generals. Joseph Johnson, he's going to be a wall general. Let's just verify. Oh, ranged troop attack. No. I wonder where he has it. So he has a second ranged. Hannibal. Let's see where Hannibal falls. Mounted troop attack. So he uses this guy for his boss monster. Caesar. Interesting. Mounted troops. So he has a couple boss. And then Scipio is a ground. Canute. Interesting. So I'm not sure which one of these he uses for his wall general, which is a little nuts because, maybe he uses Canute. And he hasn't fully maximized him yet. Locked. That's interesting. Nonetheless, I'm just kind of flabbergasted a little bit here. He doesn't really have a wall general up here that I would consider a genuine wall general. But see, this is the information that you can capture to understand better what this guy has. So when he comes around, I mean, nonetheless, he's got some power here. He's going to, demolish some people when he comes through. But at least you can calculate, especially in my position where I trap a lot. Most of you know that have seen my videos. I love trapping. That's where I get probably 90% of my SVS points is by trapping my other members. But I don't think this guy is a trapper. I think he does still have a lot of work to do, even though he's a 4 billion power. But nonetheless, so be it. So you can look at some of his generals that way. Then you have this guy, R2. Let's see what his Electra is. 5.4 million power is pretty good. It doesn't appear he has his gear properly. He or she doesn't have his gear properly put on here, in my opinion. Again, I'll save that for another video. And then we'll go down to the next guy here. He has Electra. Let's see where he's at. Okay, a little bit better. So yeah, so you're going to go through and look through some of these. What me personally look for are Scipios. Okay, if you don't know, I mean, I do have Alfred. He is top notch. I may not have his gear refined to the high 20 or the mid, 25% is the max. But he's a 5.5 gen. But I have, since I've last been on, a month or so ago, giving you a video, I have really improved another general, and I love him, and that is Scipio, and I use him for a lot of stuff now. I will just give you that little tidbit. In a future video, I will give you the reasons why I have Scipio running attack marches and traps for people. It's not really my little secret. I mean, other people, especially in older servers, know about it. I actually copied Stormy. I don't remember what server she's from, but man, Stormy had a great march with Scipio, and I just basically duplicated it and refined it to my own little technique of troops that I felt worked better for me. So lastly, again, you want to do your research on the enemy. It is imperative. You'll go to server war, ranking of enemy server, and look at those, look at all these things here. Okay, I think that does it for me. I will get this video out to you guys. Until next time, live life first, play Evony second, and I will see you on the battlefield.